It's one of the best parts. I love standing up here and looking at all the smiles and the hugs and people just loving on each other. So thank you for doing that. We appreciate that. And I now have the joy and the pleasure of introducing Shannon Sondrol. Shannon is a healer, energy worker, craniosacral therapist, massage therapist, channeler, messenger, speaker, teacher, and spiritual guide, and leads retreats, workshops, and events, which she's been doing for the past 5 years. You might want to pick up your resume. That's not very much stuff.
Right.
Just a little hint from the... Shannon obviously is very gifted, and we're very blessed to have her here today. She went through an intense spiritual emergence and Kundalini awakening at the age of 28 related to a mental breakthrough. Sometimes the medical community wants to call it a breakdown. But it is also the doorway to spiritual growth, and it has provided her with a unique gifting to speak into this world. And it also was the impetus for her to leave the world that she had behind her to move on into the healing arts. Shannon's vision and passion is to help guide others through their own inner healing and provide support to others navigating their own unique spiritual journey. Shannon does work in private practice in Stillwater, both online and in person. And if you are so inclined, you can reach out to her at shannonsondrol.com, and she will also be here after the service to connect with her there. So I'd like to welcome you. Thank you for blessing us, and we're so glad you're here.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us here today. It's so important at this time to be in spiritual community. And I know that when we gather, where two or more are gathered, is such a powerful force. And so we're here this morning to disconnect from the outside world and to tune in within ourselves. So if you will please turn off your cell phones, that would be much appreciated. And I'm just going to start with an opening meditation. So if you just want to go ahead and get comfortable in your seat, and just close your eyes, and we're just going to start by taking a nice deep breath. So just breathing in through your nose and then out through your mouth. And just setting aside the outside world for the next hour. Allowing yourself to come into your body and to be present. And to really open up to receive that which you are meant to receive today. So go ahead and take a nice deep breath. And again, just clearing away anything that is weighing on you or in your mind, just allowing all of that to fade away. And tuning within to your heart, your soul, your spirit. And just open up to receive the messages, the words that are meant for you to hear today. Just receive those aha moments that speak right to your heart. So just one more nice deep breath here, just to really anchor in to this present moment and into this space. Allowing yourself to be right here, right now. And whenever you are ready, feel free to open your eyes, come back into the room. If you need to take a drink of water, take a drink of water, move around a little bit. So the theme for October here at Lake Harriet Spiritual Community is cultivating creativity. Okay, what a good theme for the fall, right? The knowing that we are powerful creators, and many of us know that. Many of us have heard that. that resonates with us. We are powerful creators of our reality here, right? But how do we actually live that and embody that and be that? How do we walk that talk? How do we put those words into action? Well, today I'm going to give you 4 key points, I believe, to cultivating creativity and sparking that powerful creator that lives within each and every one of us. And then about halfway through this talk, we're going to go into a sacral chakra opening meditation and activation, because the sacral center, as probably many of you know, is the center of abundance and creativity and pleasure. So we need to activate that center to activate our creativity, because it all goes hand in hand, okay? And then at the end, there will be plenty of time for questions, because I thrive on questions and hearing your questions and getting the channeled answer that comes through me that wants to be relayed back out to you. And the other thing that I want to say is I'm not the only channel in the room, right? We all have access to source. We all have that ability to open our channel and receive messages. So if any of you also receive a message that is meant for the group to hear, I invite you to share that during the Q&A portion of this. Okay, so please don't shy away, because many times it'll come through someone else's channel for someone else to hear. Okay? And I definitely love interaction. So if you have anything to pipe up and say during this talk, please do so, because it's never fun to look out at a bunch of blank stares. So as much interaction as you want to have with me, please feel free to do so. So when I sat down to write part of this talk, my first question was, God, what do you want them to hear, right? And as many of you know who write or talk to God or talk to the universe, you just wait for the answer and then you write it. It comes through the pen, right? And right away it was like, it depends on who's in the audience. I'm like, oh, of course, right? But it's not so helpful with what I'm supposed to deliver and put into my talk. So that brings me to one of the key points of creativity, is having a clear channel, is having that clear vessel and clear channel for that information, that communication to come through. Because as many of you know, all the greatest composers of our time, and Einstein, and all these people, they were tapped in to source. They had an open channel to receive the information that they were supposed to receive and create and develop that which they were meant to develop here on planet Earth. It didn't come from them. It came from a power much greater than they are and than we are, right? So when we tap into that, when we tap into source and allow it to flow through, amazing creations are birthed into this world. And it's not just the select few. It's not just like this special group of people over here, and then here's the rest of us who don't have that ability. Every single person here has that ability if they so wish to cultivate it. Okay? So, first key point is the clear channel to receive the downloads, the messages, the insight, the guidance. Clear mind, clear vessel. So what does that mean? Like, we can't have a bunch of junk in our body. I'm sure many of you have had the experience of too much sugar, too much caffeine, maybe too much alcohol, right? And then you get very clouded. It's like you have this fog over you. And during those moments, it is almost impossible, I believe, and from my experience, to receive a message or to receive a download or to receive an intuitive hit. We're just off, right? We're not in our higher self. We're not aligned, body, mind, spirit. And so really looking at where, possibly, in your life at this time, are you putting things in your body, in your sacred vessel, that might be blocking that channel? And it takes mindfulness and it takes awareness to say, you know what, I ate that or I drank that, and I was clouded afterwards, or I was too heavy, or I went to bed with a full belly and I didn't dream that night. And I almost always dream. But the reason I didn't dream is because my channel was blocked because there was too much food in my vessel. Okay, so for those of you who know this and have done some of this work, you know how important it is to stay clear in our vessel. And then the other part of it is also the clear mind. So maybe you had a fight with your partner. Maybe you had a disagreement with a coworker, and that's playing over and over in your mind, the monkey loop, right? The overanalyzing, something pops up from 10 years ago, and you're like, I should have said that to this person, right? And you start going back into that argument or conversation you had and fighting with them in your mind, although it happened 10 years ago. And right now it's not happening, okay? So again, it's just the mindfulness, the awareness of when you're stuck in that you can shift it, that you can clear it out of the mind, okay? So I do a lot of energy clearing work personally and with my clients and in the workshops I teach. Energy clearing is so important. So to clear out the mind, go into meditation. Take a walk out in nature and go into the breath work, right? Breathe that energy out. Every time you exhale, you are moving energy from your body, from your mind, okay? So think about that. Think about clearing it. Think about letting it go. Walk until you've let it go, right? And nature is such a powerful way to transmute lower vibrational energies. So maybe energies of anger or hate or rage or fear or jealousy or whatever it might be. So it's just having that awareness that, you know what, I don't have to stay stuck in what my mind is doing because I have control over it and I can take the time, and I want to take the time, it's so important to take the time to shift out of that. Okay? Yeah.
Do you have any tactics for when we get in that loop and it's like we're doing these things, maybe we're even on a walk in nature,
Yeah.
and yet those thoughts are still there?
Yeah, I guess for me, like I was saying, it's just about letting it go, like letting that energy go. And if I can't pull myself out of it, I click into my phone and I go to a guided meditation. I look up Dr. Wayne Dyer, who's been one of my most powerful mentors on the other side now, and I listen to him. And a podcast or something will pop up that's like, that's exactly what I need to hear at this time, because I can't pull myself out of it, right? And so hearing someone else's voice is such a powerful way. So sometimes the silence isn't working because we're too stuck here. So thank you for asking that question. Yeah.
Exactly. It's amazing how it works. Synchronisticность, synchronize. Yeah, there is word synchronize.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So yesterday, exactly what am I doing? Exactly. Because you know about Sai Baba?
Mm-hmm.
You know
Yes.
about Sai Baba,
Yes.
right? It's last avatar. Avatar.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
last avatar. He was passed away 2011, not long time ago. So exactly, I turned on yesterday his voice. His voice is very powerful and very healing. His voice amazing because it's God voice, because he was last avatar. Just listen his mantra and go full sleep. So very, very powerful voice.
Absolutely.
So exactly.
Yes,
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. So there are tools out there for all of us. I recorded over 200 guided meditations strictly for that reason. Is for when people are too low or maybe too stuck in the moment, and we all get there, every single one of us gets there, right? That they just be able to click into their phone, into this tool to help shift the energy, to help shift the vibration, to help pull them out of it if they're ready, right? Sometimes we have to be in it and feel it and muddle our way through it. And sometimes we can shift it like that. Just depends. Depends on where we're at, what's needed at that moment, okay? So clear mind, clear vessel. So important to cultivate creativity. And then the second key point is alignment of the body, the mind, and our spirit. So really having those three parts of who we are, our entire being in alignment. And again, the way to know this is just by being so tuned into yourself and having cultivated that awareness wherever you're at in this journey, to know that my body is off right now, my mind is off right now, or my spirit is so dull that I need to go have some fun and do the things that spark my spirit, whatever that may be, okay? And it's just working on that one part or on all three parts to get them back into alignment, okay? And I know that we've all been in true alignment. Every single one of us have had those times, those moments, those days, months, weeks, year, where we are absolutely thriving, right? On top of the world, all this abundance is coming in, doors are opening left and right, all these opportunities are coming into our life, right? So remember that time and remember that feeling when you're not there in order to get back there. Because we know, those of us who really are aware of energy and work with it on a daily basis, that we must bring the feeling of what we want to experience in first, right? Bring that feeling, remember that feeling, and then allow it to fully come in to the physical world, allowing ourselves to fully get back there and embody that, okay? And then the other piece I'll add about alignment is also the heart and the soul, right? So doing some heart chakra work to really get tuned into your heart. And I truly believe, because I got this channeled a few years ago, and I did a drawing of it actually, that the soul lives behind the heart. If we're thinking of it in like the physical body terms, that the soul is behind the heart. And so in order to access the soul, the wisdom of the soul, the information that I got at that time was that we had to have an open heart, that we needed to cultivate an open heart in order to access the wisdom of our soul. So if you've heard of heart chakra work, heart opening work, tuning into the heart center, that is an important piece of being able to access the wisdom of our soul, right? And know who we are on a soul level and what we're here to do from that level. Not just what the physical world is telling us to be or do or live here, but how we can live that soul-led path if we so choose, okay? So, and it's sometimes as simple as doing a meditation to open the heart, or putting your hand over your heart center and taking some breaths, sending the energy into the heart. And the reason that our heart closes, or our heart center closes, is actually a protective mechanism. When we've been hurt as a child, when we've had past pain, trauma, abuse, heartbreak, whatever it is, that heart center closes, okay? And sometimes we don't even know it until we start feeling closed off to everyone around us and closed off to the world and really guarded with all those walls, right? But the minute that we recognize it and are aware of it, we can choose then to allow the heart to open back up, right? And I believe that the heart is ever expansive and ever, so there's not like a threshold you can get to how far your heart will open. It can always go further and be more expansive, okay? So that key point number 2, alignment of the body, mind, spirit, the heart, and the soul. And then the key point number 3 that I know is so true for myself is movement. So I have lived a lot of places. I have driven thousands and thousands of miles all over the country. I love moving to all these different areas and places. And in that movement, whether it's running, walking, moving out in nature, or in my car driving somewhere, I get so much creative spark. I get so many of those little intuitive hits, ideas, insights, all of that coming in when I'm moving. So I want you to also pay attention to how movement helps to spark your creativity. So when I first moved back to the Minneapolis area, and it was wintertime, I was thinking, where can I go to spark my creativity? Where can I go to move? Because it was so, so cold outside. And I was coming back from Arizona, which, as many of you know, was a much, much warmer place. And so it took me a while to acclimate back in to Minnesota, even though I'm born and raised here. And I love being here, but it just took me a while. So I would go to the Mall of America, okay? And there's all these lights, and there's all these stores that are really high vibrational. There are some places that are not, right? But I found so much inspiration there by seeing these stores and seeing the walls, how the walls were decorated, and seeing the outside of the stores, what they had done with the models and the clothing. And I would just take pictures. And I would just start taking pictures and really, really just looking at what called to me. What stores, what energy, what design and design work and everything that was done at the Mall of America, what really called to me. And it was just enough to have movement throughout the mall and to see all this creativity that is in that space, this amazing, huge space. And I would always bring my journal with me. And at the end of it, I would sit down and sometimes have a coffee or a glass of wine and just write. And there was so much creativity flowing through me at that time. So it's also about those places that spark this creativity. Places, spaces, people, right? That might spark that for you. Communities that spark that. Activities, social engagements that spark that. And also allowing yourself to go beyond the comfort zone. So allowing yourself to go to new places and new spaces and new people that might spark something in you that has been dormant for so long. Maybe that part of yourself that you denied, or the painter, or the artist, or the writer, or the musician that has been buried for far too long within you. Okay? Yes, do you have?
I was just curious to know, not to, sound negative or anything, but I'm
Yeah.
wondering the alcohol, that spirit of the wine, do you think that would create the spirit of the alcohol creativity? Would that bring that out?
No, it's the vibration that you're at.
I'm wondering about the alcohol.
Yeah, no, it's the vibration that you're at the time. So if you're consuming a high vibrational alcohol in high vibration, in enjoyment, my experience of it has only ever been something that is, I'll say, of the light, although I don't know if that's what it is. But I'm just saying, like, if
Your experience of alcohol has been high vibration?
I said, well, if you're in that high vibrational space.
I'm just trying to clarify.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, if you're in a high vibrational space and you have a glass of wine, you're doing a bunch of writing, I found it to be very powerful, high vibrational, yeah.
I'm just curious about the spirit of the alcohol. Is that your creativity, or was that your soul?
I think it's all of it, I think it's the spirit that lives within you. I think it's soul. I think it's your connection to source. I definitely think it's not one thing. It's all of the things, yeah. And I also create a lot not having that, obviously, as well. So
Yeah, I
it was just
understand
one
the
little,
question. I understand the question.
Yeah.
So I know exactly what you're saying. And there have been moments where Like you said, when I've been in a higher vibrational state and had a glass of wine, lots of ideas and things flow through me. But there have been other times when I haven't been in such a vibrational state, and the type of alcohol and the amount that I consume shut everything down for me. So
Exactly.
I understand what you're saying.
Yep. And it was just, I mean, that was just one little blurb of like, you know, it's definitely not something we need to focus on. But yes, thank you for clarifying that. Oh. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Balance, yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. It's harmony. It is, it's harmony. Yeah, and for every single person, obviously that is different. And for every single day, it's different. And every single moment of time, it is different. And so if you're just tuned into yourself, though, that's what it's about. And it's about catching yourself when you're being impulsive with something. And just saying, is this really what is in my highest good at this time? Is this really what's aligned at this time? Okay? And we all definitely have our own unique journey and experiences with all of that. So honor your path, honor your truth, whatever that is for you. Okay? And the other thing that I wanted to mention about all of this is what I had said earlier about the sacral center. So many of you know about the energy centers of the body, right? About the chakras. We have 7 of them in our body. And the sacral center, right here below the navel, is the energy or the center of creativity. And so even just sending energy into that, for me to open my sacral center, I do a lot of infinity hip circles. Okay, and just making that infinity symbol with my hips, and I'll go wider and I'll go lower, and it's just that. And so try that, because I've really noticed, and I'll do this just as part of my morning routine, how powerful that is to open the sacral center, or even just hip circles themselves will open it, but making the infinity symbol seems a little bit even more powerful to open that center. And then we all have this ability, and I just want to reiterate this, to talk to God, to talk to the universe, to open up that communication, okay? And who is it? When I first started getting all this communication, it's like, is that my angels? Is that God? Is that the higher self? Is that the universe? Is that source? Like, who or what is it? And finally, I was just like, it doesn't matter. Because to me, and I know that they're different, but they're all of the same realm when I think about it, right? So in 2017, I did a ceremony, personal ceremony, on January 1st. And I had been kind of in and out of this work, in and out, as we do so many times when we kind of first get into it or get back into it. And so I did a ceremony, and I was living in Denver in a condo at the time, and I had a fire on January 1st, and I just said, okay, God, like for the rest of my life, I'm committed to doing this work. And I made that commitment. And it definitely has not been a straightforward path, right? It was like, okay, straightforward and up and then down and then off the path and back on and twirled around and spun around, you know, and tossed around in all these different scenarios and circumstances. But it was about that commitment in 2017 that was such a powerful shift for me. And sometime within the next month, in the middle of the night, I started getting these taps on my shoulder. Tap, 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 tap. Literally could feel it, and I'm like, I don't know what that is, but I'd roll over and go back to sleep the first couple of times. And then it kept happening, and I was like, okay, this is something I need to get up. I need to not just ignore it and go back to sleep. So I started getting up and I started writing in my journal. And then shortly after, I would actually get up and out of bed and go to my computer. And that's when my first workshops were channeled. In the middle of the night, going to my computer and literally writing everything that was coming through. But it's like I had made that connection and said, yes, I'll show up and I'm committed to this. So now you can start downloading it through me and I'll put it out into the world in a very small way, of course, at first, right? And so the first workshop that I developed out in Colorado, I'm like, I'm just gonna have it in my space, in my condo. I don't have a space. I don't really wanna rent a space at that time, so I'll just send it out. We'll see what happens. And within 24 hours, I had 15 people sign up, and it was fully booked, because that was all the people I could hold in the space that I was living at the time. And I was like, that is divine alignment, right? Because they woke me up in the middle of the night, my angels, I believe, tap, tap, tap on the shoulder. I decided to finally get up, go to my computer, and I remember the day that I did that was because the next morning, I didn't even remember getting up. When I went back to my computer, I was like, wow, look at what I wrote in the middle of the night. Didn't even remember it. That's how still in sleeping state I was when that happened, right? And so just for all of you to remember and know that you have that ability too. You absolutely have that ability. And if your channel has been clouded for a while, anytime you can do the work or find the support or reach out to a mentor or have some energy work done or whatever it is for you to help clear that up and then have that strong connection again. Because I've definitely experienced that. Months where my channel has been clouded, where there's absolutely nothing coming through. Maybe too much going on in my personal world that I was tending to focus elsewhere, whatever that might be, right? But at any time, you can get back there. Like, it's never lost forever, and I know that, okay? So if you are all okay right now, I would just like to guide through a quick sacral meditation, and then we'll go right into questions. Okay, so just get comfortable. Couple of breaths. So just breathing out, just clearing out anything that might be blocking you at this time, any heaviness, anything you're holding on to. Just allowing that to clear out. And then we'll just send a little energy into the root chakra right at the base of the spine. And then into the sacral center right below the navel, so just focusing on those areas. And into the solar plexus right at the top of the abdomen. Into the heart chakra right in the center of your chest. Activating the throat chakra, center of communication. Connecting the heart chakra to the throat chakra. Clearing out the third eye right in the center of your forehead. And allowing the crown chakra to fully open. Just allowing yourself to imagine this white light, golden light pouring over you. The energy of healing, of protection, of source. Allowing that to flow through and penetrate every single cell within your body. Allowing that to be. And then just putting your hands right below your navel, right on that sacral center. We'll just send some energy there. You don't have to force any of this at all. Just allow. Just allow whatever it is that might be blocking your sacral center, anything of the past experiences, trauma, whatever it is that you've experienced, just allow that to be cleared away if you're willing to let go at this time. If you're willing to just let go of the past. Just allow that to clear the sacral center there. then on your next breath, just focusing the breath into the sacral center and allowing that sacral center to open and activate, an activation of the center of abundance and pleasure and creativity. And you can affirm within yourself that I am a powerful creator, claiming that truth for yourself once again. I am open to creations being birthed through me. I am an open and clear channel for all of creation. Allowing yourself to get out of your mind and just showing up for whatever creations, ideas, inspiration, work that wants to move out into the world to come through you. And even in your mind, you can just imagine yourself doing that infinity hip circle. You can move around a little bit in your seat if that feels right for you. I am a powerful creator of my reality here. What am I choosing to create today? What am I choosing to create for the rest of 2022? How am I willing to show up and allow that which is meant to be birthed through me to move through me and out into the world for those who are meant to receive it, for those who are ready to receive it, for those who need to receive it, to be able to access that. No longer hiding away, no longer playing small, no longer dimming down. Standing in the full power of who I truly am. Divine feminine, divine masculine, sacred union, the harmony of both of those energies. And then whenever you're ready, please feel free to come back into the room. Take a drink of water if that feels right for you. And we are at the point for questions. So I'm going to try to pull you out of that really quickly and go right into questions. So for anyone who has a question, I would love to hear from you. Yeah.
In your original resume, so to speak, in introduction, we've heard a list of many things you're doing, like massage, energy healing, other things. Do you combine them together in one session, or you do one at a time? And if you combine them, then can you just share some of your secrets?
Some of my what?
Secrets.
Secrets. Oh. Yes, I'll share all my secrets. It's not meant to be hidden. It's so not meant to be hidden. So it is when I see clients in person, okay, the minute I get my hands on them, the intuition, it's an intuition at that point. What do they most need? Okay, and of course it's a little bit of talking before to see what's going on with your physical body and where are you at, what's happening with you, right? But I use all the modalities I have, if need be. And if it's only right for them to experience a full craniosacral session, then that's what we'll do, okay? So just gathering a little bit of information from you and then using my own intuition, okay? And then the online sessions, a little bit different. My hands aren't on, but again, it's just energy. It's tuning into the energy. It's always clearing the energetic field, always. Because every single one of us has something within our field or body that is ready to be cleared out. Every single time I'm doing clearing work on people, okay? And then always relaying the intuitive messages that I get, because the minute I'm in their field, the messages start coming. And then the most important thing for me that I wasn't doing a long time ago when I first started this work was action steps. So giving people a meditation or two, a tool or two that they could put into practice, that they would be accountable for showing up on a daily basis if they so choose. Because the power is not in my hands, it's in my client's hands, right? So, thank you for asking that. And I will say, a pivotal moment in my journey was I had just learned craniosacral. And I had a client, I was living up in Fergus Falls, Minnesota, working out of there. And I had a client that I had done a lot of massage work with, so I knew her history. We had a strong connection. She felt safe with me. And so I said, next time I'm going to book you for 2 hours, and I'd like to do this craniosacral therapy I just learned. I think it'll be really powerful for you. Okay? So first session, and it was a 12-step protocol for any of you who know craniosacral through the Upledger Institute. It was a powerful, powerful training. And when I got to this certain hold on her head, she went into deep, powerful emotional release, so a lot of crying. It was the first time that had happened on my table. But it was fine, and I held space for it, and all was well. Lasted maybe 3 minutes. And that was like a big aha of like, there is something so much more than physical going on now. Because I still thought that I was just coming from massage therapy. It was energy and it was physical. Now it was emotional. Wow, right? And the next time she came, a week later, second craniosacral session, same hold on her head. And this was the first time I had ever experienced white light coming through me. Didn't even know about connecting to source, but I didn't know it. My eyes were closed, and through my crown chakra and through this part of my body and out through my hands and onto her was white light. And at the time, it didn't seem like a big deal. But looking back, it was such a pivotal moment. And I heard a voice that said, just keep your hands right where they're at. So I did. And again, seems like a long time, but it was probably 3 minutes, right? And after that session, she goes, I'm going to tell you what happened in our next session. I can't speak it out right now. Okay. Comes back a week later, and she said in that session, she went back to childhood, had a conversation with her father, and there was a lot of abuse in that relationship, and healed her whole relationship with her father in that moment. In that moment. Because we know instantaneous healing happens. She had been in psychotherapy for over 25 years. Okay? So when white light, when the divine, when that healing comes through, and it was nothing that I did, I was just the channel to allow it to come through. And then after that, it was like, okay, let's just tap into that. If I just tap into source and just allow it to come through, I don't need all these. I mean, I did do a little bit more training. I did craniosacral to Reiki. And then after Reiki, it was like, okay, enough of the papers. Like enough of the sheet of paper saying you're qualified, right? My qualification is that on a soul level, I'm a healer. And connection to source. And then just get your hands on people, right? And when I did that, then all these downloads started coming through. They told me so much more about what was going on with people, how to help them, all of that. One last question, and then we're done. Yeah.
We're all healers.
Yeah.
So, but I think female use intuition a lot.
Yeah.
It's correct. A man can use intuition, just develop, because intuition must put you not in line way how to do it. Mm-hmm. Even you study this way, you can turn on different way. It will right. So, and I never practice. I never study anything Reiki. Never. No, in my inside, my heart, I know I am healer too. Mm-hmm. And when moment come in my job, some young person, she has very hard headache, and she sit like this at the table, and just I was go my car almost, done my work, but I just turn and come to her and put my hand on her head. And for 5 minutes, I hold it with love. And after, I never had this kind of relax in my life, never. So I was, okay, thank you, bye, and she said, thank you. This is
Yeah, yeah. And it happens anywhere, at any moment, in any capacity, any job, any career, wherever you're put, right? That healing happens even through conversation, even through one smile, even through one eye contact, moment of eye contact can shift everything, my friends. And what she just said is the note that we'll end on. She mentioned the energy of love, the most powerful force in the universe. So if you're tuned into that, absolutely healing will happen. And it goes both ways. The healing happens for the person who is facilitating the healing, the healer, and the person who is receiving that healing. It is a two-way street, my friends. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Shannon. That was terrific. A lot of great ideas there. I picked up many myself that I plan to put into place. So, and what's the best way for people to reach out to you again?
Either email or on my website. And I do have some cards out in the lobby as well if you'd like one. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. We're blessed to have had you here for us today. Thank you so much. Now it's the time for our offering. We are a volunteer organization here, so we are run by your kind donations. So as the plate gets passed, we'd appreciate your throwing a little bit in for keeping the place open. Thank you. And you can also give online at lakeharrietspiritualcommunity.org.
I hope you never lose your sense of wonder. You get your fill to eat, but always keep that hunger. May you never take one single breath for granted. God forbid love ever leave you empty-handed. I hope you still feel small when you stand beside the ocean. Whenever one door closes, I hope one more opens. Promise me you'll give faith a fighting chance. When you get the choice, sit it out or dance. I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you never feel those mountains in the distance. Never settle for the path of least resistance. Living might mean taking chances, but they're worth taking. Loving might be a mistake, but it's worth making.
Thank you. If you want to come forward with the
And
offering.
don't let some helping heart leave you bitter. When you come close to selling out, reconsider. Give the heavens above more than just a passing glance.
Thank you, everyone. I appreciate that. If you raise your hands now with me, please. God's perfect love, and then please repeat after me. Flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I am. Aho. Thank you. Okay, now it's time for our closing circle, and we want to say a special thank you for being here. You are all uniquely gifted. You all have your own connection to the divine, and we're grateful that you were here to be part of something bigger as a community, so thank you. So if you want to form a circle, maybe around through the middle and join hands, Shannon will give us our final message. Those on the end, please come together. Yeah, thank you.
Perfect. Circle. Oh, circle. Receive it all. That's funny. Okay, so we're going to hear a song that I heard for the first time at a retreat that I was at a week and a half ago. And please sing along if you know it, and it'll go through like 3 times. So I think by the second time you'll catch some of it, and then by the third time. So I would appreciate it. And if not, just listen and absorb the words and the message that they're giving through the song. And it's by Muse. So for those of you who know it.
We keep by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love.
And so it is. Much, everyone. And if you'd like to chat or have any questions, I'll be out in the lobby, and I would love to connect with you.